Hey, take 75 or something like that. No, not quite, but I've done this a few times. So, hey, it's Phoenix. I am here to very briefly discuss something that I think is a concern for plots regarding Pax Dei. So, as you know, Pax Dei FAQs came out for the building, so part 1 and part 2 are both now out. And I've seen and heard, whether by text or by video, a couple of concerns about plots and griefing. And so I wanted to touch on this a little bit by video because I think sometimes you lose a little bit just with text. So I'm going to lay some groundwork, talk about what is currently understood about plots, and then talk about suggestions. So let's just pretend like we have this Expeditionary Forces clan who wants to claim this amazing illustration of a 4x3 set of plots in the world of Pax Dei. Unfortunately, Expeditionary Forces is located in different time zones, and so players are not able to all claim at the same time. So there's variations of when they'd be able to log in. And so what we find is that a rival clan, Black Lotus, is actually able to come in and box Expeditionary Forces in, essentially negating their plans for a grand city. So I'll stop right here and say we don't know how this is really going to work. We have a lot of assumptions and a lot of guesses, and so this is a guess of mine that as it stands right now, it sounds like plots are pretty well open to claim by anybody that has a plot available to claim. And so I see this as a potential problem. Now, I think there's absolutely room for the player politics of, hey, Black Lotus coming to Expeditionary Forces and saying, hey, we'll give you these plots back if you give us X amount of resources or coin or whatever currency or whatever they're looking for. I think there's room for that. However, I want to direct my attention and suggestions towards the players who are out to basically just grief. And so that's where the suggestions come into play. They're basically the same thing in terms of functionality, except there's slight variations. So the idea is for mainframe to implement a temporary hold for a particular plot or plots around something that's been claimed. So in this first example here, we have the initial plane. Oh my goodness! Wow, I need some coffee. We have this initial plot that's been claimed by, we'll just say Sally is the clan leader for Expeditionary Forces. So Sally's claimed this plot. Upon claiming the plot, I said it right this time. Upon the plot being claimed, there's this cross-shaped protection that's added to the adjacent plots. So that way, Sally's clan can come in and then place their plots additionally next to hers. So that's suggestion 1. Suggestion 2 is basically just expanding that to all of the adjacent and diagonal areas around that initial plot. I think the opportunity here for mainframe is to, 1, answer if this is even possible or feasible, and also discuss what sort of a time frame that might look like. Because I envision these as being temporary holds on the places or the plots around. So it doesn't basically fully disable the ability to discuss, to have the player politics piece of the game still intact. So, for example, maybe this requires a little bit more planning by the Expeditionary Forces so they can claim plots together. And so maybe that time frame is like 5 or 10 minutes instead of like 4 hours or 8 hours. Obviously, this is all speculation. This is all based on what little information we know. We don't know how big the world is. Maybe this won't really be an issue in terms of like the player politics piece, but I still think it's going to be an issue for the toxic players out there who are looking to basically just piss people off by claiming plots and trying to figure out if you can get in there and do that while they're making claims. So I'm interested to hear what your suggestions are. I'm interested to hear what if this is even an issue we should be concerned about. I think there's definitely room for griefing to be a possible piece of this game. So how do you handle that as mainframe? How do you handle that as other players? Should it only be left up to player politics? I don't really know. I don't have strong feelings about it either way. So I'm just curious to know what you think. So with that, I think I've done enough talking for one video. I hope you are doing well. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Illustration of I can't think with music going.